This time on Easter End Garage, we're playing with the dogs. No, we're heading out with our vintage bike club. We're heading out with our vintage bike club that I've been a member of, I think it's 16 years this year. So I just hit 102 subscribers, which is pretty cool. It took me 2 years to get over the 100, so maybe it's starting to build a little bit. But the biggest thing I see on YouTube is people washing their vehicles. I hate washing vehicles. When I was younger, I used to wash all my cars, the junkier the car, everything was always shining. My tires, I would do everything. But since I got older, became a parent, moved to the city, I just let Mother Nature do her thing. And I'm kind of known a little bit for not doing my part in keeping my machines clean, but I keep them mechanically solid, which is more important to me. So today we're going to wash the BSA before we go out on our ride. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to wash her the way Mother Nature does. Alright, bike is washed, no soap, Mother Nature doesn't have soap. So I'll let it air dry for a bit before I try to start it up, in case the electric's got a little damp. And I'll air dry it while I'm driving, and then all the water spots will just be little reminders of how I don't like to wash stuff. Anyway, I'll bring you along on the ride. I'll stop with the GoPro. We'll see some of the other bikes in our club, if people don't mind me filming, and I'll show you our little trip around Nova Scotia. So when I first started in the club, I had a 1956 Triumph TRW 500. It was a chopper my dad had back in the 70s that was just a pile of rust leaned against the shed, so I drug it home and found a bunch of parts and rebuilt it to look kind of like it was supposed to. And I drove that for 5 or 6, maybe 6 years. And then I sold that. I got a little tired of it. And I got my dream bike, which was an early 80s Katana, but a 750, not the 1100, which they're rarer than hen's teeth and they're really expensive. So I found an old 750 and I rebuilt that a little bit to look like the Canadian red version. I'll throw some pictures up so you can see. And I drove that for a couple of years. And I wanted to get something older, so I found an old 68 BSA Shooting Star in a box in a club member's garage who was getting rid of some stuff. So I bought it and took about a year over the winter, put it together. It was 3/4 of it was missing, but we got it together looking like a clone of a Victor. I'm not a fan of the toaster, looks like a toaster gas tank on those. And I drove it and I love driving, I just didn't like the look. So I converted to a cafe racer over another winter. And drove that for a couple years, but the low bars were just killing my wrists and back. I'm getting older and heavier now, so 3 years ago I guess, this is the third summer, I converted to a street tracker, so it's easier for me to drive. Everybody liked the paint scheme. My wife sewed up the seat cover, gas tank off a 73 Honda, front end off a Norton, which in my last video I explained I'm going to change. So it's going to be more of a scrambler, looking like the TR 250s or the BSA 250. Same frame, same motor, just it's got the 444cc motor instead of the 250. So I'm going to do that, put my race bike gas tank on it because it is a BSA gas tank off those bikes, change the seat up and put the stock front end back on, and that'll be next year's. So anyway, I'm going to get ready to go for the ride and we'll bring you along. that's another club ride in the history books. This is the second one I was on this year. We did one 2 weeks ago. The old bike worked pretty good today. I think I missed some footage there of most of the ride, but thanks to Peter for leading the ride out today. Our president had other things to attend to, so Peter volunteered and led us out through the Shubenacadie Loop, and I led back through Beaverbank Road. We had no mechanical breakdowns, no incidents. It was a really good ride. 24 degrees, quite a bit of humidity. It's a little uncomfortable at times, but it was a beautiful day out. Not a lot of traffic through the Rawdon Hills, so that's a really great loop to do back there in the farm country with all the hills and turns. It's a good time. Anyway, thanks again for tuning in, and next time we got some parts in for the Harley, so we'll be fixing a few more things on that. And remember to like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you next time. And remember, ride them while you can till you can't. Cheers.